We only have 24,000 inhabitants. We have a lot of green, what you can see here on the map. And we are a municipality of the Netherlands. That means that gives us some privilege. For driver that sit, give him a warm applause.
Hey! Speech!
Okay, speech. He is driving. He has to concentrate himself. Okay, let's start. Bonaire is a very historic island full of history. What you look here at the left-hand side is already the old fort. It is built in 1745, and you see the cannons. They have been given to the island in 1799 by the British. They are never used, so gives you an impression how peaceful it was already at that time. And next to it you see the big governor's house. That is actually the oldest building on the island. The walls go back to 1720, and it's still used by the governor and the council. So also the administrative staff is working there. Then you see the blue building here. That's actually the harbor office. It used to be a family house, but now it is the harbor administration. It is getting more and more like everywhere. Then at the back of the fort you are looking at a very old tamarind tree that is 100 years old. And you know that from tamarind you can make a very nice syrup, and also you can use it for baking, and the children love to suck on it, but if you're not used to it you have to be a little bit careful, otherwise your intestines is getting very active. Then we are passing by the Governor House. Of course it has been renovated and it's very big now. Here we are passing by the Protestant church, and we are entering, no, we are not entering, sorry, the old center, because we had a lot of tropical rainfalls, and at the moment our roads are very bumpy. That is actually for you in the back. As soon as you feel not very well, you give me a sign, and I give it on to the driver. So we are passing the center now. You see that our houses are very colorful, and that comes because we had a governor who came here. He was also in Curaçao and in Aruba, and he came here around 1835, and he begged the people to paint their houses, and he said, yes, the white is hurting my eyes, in Aruba and also in Curaçao. Now we have these colorful houses around here. That's actually a house built in the Art Deco style. It is divided in different parts now, but typical Art Deco, and Art Deco was around 1920. In front of you, you are looking at the old monastery which belonged to the main church where the nuns were living. And next to it, it was the little church of the nuns who belonged to the hospital. It was the second hospital who was built here on Bonaire. And now we have a completely new hospital built in the back. And the building which used to be the nuns' house is now used for education of adults. Here you see how beautiful our walls are painted. We have 38 different artists here on the island, and they are actually making our city or our villages very beautiful. As soon as we turn right, you can peek into the center and you see the typical architecture and the nice color. Because even if we are building new buildings, we try to keep the Antillean atmosphere here on the island. Here you also see the house behind the... You see that also if we build new, as I said, we try to build in the old style. Here you see some older and newer buildings. Also, the newer buildings are never higher than 4 levels high. And here we are approaching the area of the first hospital built on the island. And that was because when the ship came from Europe, we had to defend our island against plague and cholera. So we were putting the people, the staff, on Bonaire in quarantine. And when they got sick, of course not with plague or cholera, but then they were treated in the little hospital out of the center. Here you see all kinds of old and newer buildings. There you have the peak at the sea. You see we have a lot of mooring for sailors. And here at your left-hand side, after that yellow house, you find a typical boat which was built through 200 years by 5 families. And that is because we had very special wood here on the island, and that these boats were loved in the whole Caribbean, and they were sold up to Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and you still can find these boats up there. Later on the trip I will tell you more about the wood and the way they built it. Then you see the blue and yellow building by one of our famous lunchrooms, pulled between 2 bunks, and they put just everything between 2 bunks, which are very nice. And here we are passing by one of our 2 harbors. The ABC Islands are the lower wind islands. That means no hurricane. So during the hurricane season, the boats are coming here, the sailors who are in the Caribbean, to actually keep their boat. The hurricane season ended at the end of November and will start at the end of May. And here in Sardinia, look, you see the first flamingos here already. Oh, how nice. They are just looking for their breakfast. Yeah.